Hey guys, hope you're having a good day. So today we got this LawnBoy, and it's got a Kohler on it. So this is actually my first Kohler. I usually don't see a lot of these in my area for whatever reason. Maybe it's just not as popular, but I usually get Briggs or Hondas. And my neighbor dropped this off last night saying he was having issues with it last year where it would start up, but it would kind of chug and then come up to RPMs really slow. So I did verify that, and I'll show you that here. But yeah, beyond that, I told him I was going to go over the rest of it and see what else it might need. Probably change the oil, and we'll get into it. All right, let's see what we got here. We'll need a new filter. Probably blow that out for him, but that thing's packed. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like these LawnBoys. They're not around anymore. I think Toro actually bought them out. And I don't know if you saw in that clip before, but it almost sounds like the choke is sticking on longer than it needs to. I don't know if that's something we can get through cleaning or not, but we'll see. It was easy. Wonder if I gotta take these studs out. I was able to unhook it from the heat actuator or sensor, whatever's on the muffler over there. Okay, let me move you. Let's see what's in this bowl here first. I don't think that was ever off. Not bad. And there's an idle. This is the idle jet here, so we gotta take this out and pop that jet out to clear it. There. Some crap in there. Actually looks really clean. Doesn't really matter how far you screw this one in, apparently. It's just to hold this plastic piece down. So I'll just move it to a point where I know it's gonna hold that in. There we go. Bowl seal looks good. Okay, we'll get this back installed. I'm going to take a sample of that fuel. Get my little tuna can. So a little bit of sediment. I'm not sure if that's from the outside of the line or not. Okay. Let me get this put back on and we'll test fire it, see if the same problem exists. Yep. Kind of need the throttle for that, don't we? Okay. Good there. Now I'll get it on. All right, well, it runs good. It just takes a couple seconds to get up the RPM. I'm not sure if that's normal for these Kohlers or not. I'll have to do some research and maybe dig into it a little bit more. But let's check out the rest of it. Got it flipped upside down to see if the blade's in okay shape. It looks okay. It needs to be sharpened, which I can do for him. It might be slightly bent on this side. It looks like it has a dinger right here. But we can take that off and sharpen that for him. Let's check that plug. I think it's an 18. I need an extension. Pretty sooty. All right, well that slow to bring up to RPM might just be the way it is, but I am going to double check that the flywheel key is not sheared just because of the look of that blade. I was hearing a slight popping from the intake when it shut down with no air filter on it. So let's take a look. All right, I'll have to get my impact and figure out what size nut that is. 19 millimeter. I don't think it is. I can see the key. It doesn't look sheared. Okay, so I don't think it's the flywheel key. And if you were curious earlier, this is actually the thing I was manipulating the choke rod onto to get the carb off. So looking at this, it does feel like notchy. So I'm almost willing to bet that this is kind of broken inside. So let's take a look at what this thing looks like. Maybe it's dirty. I think if this was my machine, this would be probably the first thing I try to replace. It's probably the cheapest. Yeah, so what I was curious about was this. It is kind of notchy. You can kind of see it got caught there. So I'd be willing to bet that this is the problem. I'll have to ask him if he wants to replace that or just deal with it idling up slower. But it's not clogged. Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, I'm gonna get this thing back together. I'm pretty convinced it was that that thermostatic choke mechanism causing the issue at startup. It's just, I think it's notchy and it's holding the choke open longer than it really needs to. So we'll see if he wants to do that or not. I'm going to move on to oil change and just sharpen the blade for him. I don't think it's a valve issue. I didn't really hear any popping out of the exhaust or the intake to lead me to believe that. If you guys think otherwise, just let me know. It'll help me diagnose these things in the future. But yeah, let me get you set up. I'll get that blade off and we'll do an oil change. Okay, everything's back together. Let's get this blade off of here. There's that dinger I was telling you about. I'll get the sharpen put back on, scrape this thing out. All right, we're sharp and balanced. Back on here. All right, blade's on there. I did torque it. I'm going to get this upright. We're going to run it for a little bit and then drain the oil. Well, that's what came out of it. Pretty dirty. Definitely needed changed. Right at the top. Check. Yeah. All right. One more startup before I call it quits. Okay, I think that's it for this one. Just basic service pretty much. I'll let the owner know about that choke mechanism, see if they want me to replace it. If so, I'll do another clip after this to show you how that turned out. But yeah, the only other thing I had to do, and if you noticed, the front wheels weren't moving when I first started this up at the beginning of the video. I just had to adjust the tension on the drive cables here so that both the wheels were turning when the lever was engaged. But yeah, I'll get this thing cleaned up and off to its owner, and that'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching.